Piercing the pre-dawn sky as the space shuttle announces its arrival at the launch site with its signature sound of twin sonic booms having gone subsonic for the last time. The pre-flare maneuver executed. Landing gear down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Hurley now deploying the drag chute. Ferguson rotating the nose gear down to the deck. Having fired the imagination of a generation, a ship like no other, its place in history secured, the space shuttle pulls into port for the last time. Its voyage at an end.
Well, today a piece of history flew by the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was lucky enough to see it. I stood there with my son on the end of a point with a few guys who worked for Comcast, and we all watched the last flight of the Endeavour atop a NASA 747. And what struck me is that Obama destroyed NASA with the stroke of a pen without any debate in Congress. This single communist from Chicago destroyed the most advanced exploratory institute in the United States of America. And America doesn't even understand what this man has done to this country. At the same time that he destroyed NASA, he sent his front man, Panetta, to China, who got on his hands and knees, virtually on his hands and knees, and said to the People's Liberation Army, don't worry about America. The Obama doctrine is hands off China. You know, when I was a kid, of course, we all went to high school. I had to study for exams. There was a history part of that exam, and I remember I had to learn what the Monroe Doctrine was. I didn't like history very much, but I remember I had to memorize the Monroe Doctrine. It was named for a president who said to Europe, hands off the Western Hemisphere, it's ours. You can no longer come and tamper in the Western Hemisphere. We're strong, we're powerful, we're America, and we will repel you. But the Obama Doctrine has not yet been articulated. Not by Romney, certainly not by the drugged media, but there is an Obama Doctrine. And the Obama Doctrine to the world is hands off the communist world, hands off the Islamist world, or live and let die. The vacuum of U.S. power in the world today is at an all-time high. Not since we were a small colony have we been this weak. Whether you know it or not, the attacks on 9/11 in Libya and the attacks in Egypt were carefully planned by the Islamists that were helped in power by Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, George Soros's money. It's astounding how he gets away with this and how it falls upon a few voices in the wilderness like mine to remind America what has happened to this country under this con man. But it's not just the con man who conned his way into the presidency, is it? It's about a con man who not only conned his way into the presidency, but has hoodwinked wiser men in the Democrat Party into believing that he actually cares about America when he doesn't. This man has a hard left agenda. He has permitted not only the communists to thrive around the world, but the Islamists as well. The attacks that occurred on 9/11 were very shocking. They killed an ambassador. And the Fugazi in the White House had the nerve to say that it was a result of a YouTube film and that he would track down the perpetrators. Well, what has he done to the perpetrators? It occurred quite a while ago. He hasn't even found them, has he? He was on to fundraising 10 minutes later. No, the vacuum, the strategic vacuum in the world, and particularly the strategic vacuum of the Obama Doctrine in the Middle East, caused by a withdrawal of U.S. global power, which is the left-wing agenda, is the reason that we had the initial attacks against the U.S. Embassy in Cairo and the U.S. Consulate in Benghazi, Libya. But there were other clear indicators that were coming. And this is only the beginning. The Islamists in Iran have attacked our banking infrastructure over the last few days. In fact, if you had trouble withdrawing money from the Bank of America or several other banks, it's because Iran has invaded the bank's computers and is trying to cause havoc in our banking system. Yes, this is all a result of the Obama Doctrine. And the question must be asked then, how come the American people are so stupid that they don't even understand this? And there is an answer. There is an answer. The culprit, of course, is the media. We know what they are. We know where their sympathies lie. We know that they're in the pocket of the Democrat Party. But there is another reason that he's getting away with this, and that is Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney's weakness is so apparent to me, it's shocking. Mitt Romney is like a non-candidate, which is why he's hovering in a near tie with the worst president in American history, the worst economy in modern American history, the worst foreign policy in American history. And here we have a so-called Republican hovering in a near tie with Obama. And why? Because Romney is not getting out front and attacking Obama. He's sitting there in a passive manner, mumbling about topics that have no meaning to the average American. He's going over old ground, he's playing catch-up, and he's playing defense. Now, I can ask you questions, but basically I just wanted to give you my monologue today. As I watched the shuttle flying over the San Francisco Bay today, I went over the East Bay, then over Ring Mountain, then over the Golden Gate Bridge. I can't tell you I cried. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that I'm that kind of guy. I didn't cry. I was stunned, actually. I was enraged. I'm not the kind of guy who gets emotional in that way. I was enraged that the American people are so dumb that they don't even understand that what they were watching was the end of our space exploration because of the communist from Chicago, Barack Hussein Obama, and his hard-left cronies. Do I have to name them for you? They have withdrawn America from the world stage. So as I say to you, when you were in high school, maybe, you had to learn various things in history, including the Monroe Doctrine, where when America was still growing in its power, the Monroe Doctrine was created, and it was named for President Monroe, and it was, stay away from the Western Hemisphere. It's ours. You Europeans don't come here. The Obama Doctrine is the Monroe Doctrine in reverse. And I'm the first one in the media to tell this to you. The Obama Doctrine is the reverse of the Monroe Doctrine. It's not hands off America. It's saying we'll take our hands off the communist threat coming to us from China. We are going to take our hands off the Islamist threat coming out of the Middle East. In other words, live and let die. Please don't hurt us. That is the Obama Doctrine. That is my opinion. The phone number here at the Savage Nation this Friday, September 21, 2012 is 1-800-449-8255. And now we go to some Rock and Roll Friday where we await your calls. Let's have a little speedo to speed up the message.
But my real name is
You know, you guys who are younger than me don't know how great it was to live in America when we had men, real men, running this country. Men who were not afraid of the third world vermin. I have no idea what it was like to live in a great nation because you've grown up living in a nation that's basically got a begging cup out to the world. If you'd like to call this show, I pity you. It means that you're as agitated as I am. And, of course, the phone number is already up there, 1-800-449-8255. Let's begin in Houston, Texas. Daniel, you're on the Savage Nation. What provokes this call today?
Dr. Savage, yesterday I was sitting in my office on the 22nd floor in Houston, Texas, watching as watching as our freedom was flying away in front of our eyes. We watched the NASA shuttle fly in front of our building, and everyone within our office complained about how this president has ruined this country and is now going to force us to put our men, our engineers and our scientists on Russian rockets to get into space. It's just unbelievable.
In other words, yes, Obama symbolically has put our astronauts at the back of the bus.
That's absolutely right.
You hear how I put it? In other words, what Obama has done with the stroke of a pen, he should have been impeached for this, in my opinion. The man should have been impeached for what he did to NASA alone. But look, I'm one man. I have no power. I have no influence. I have no organization. All I do is speak and write books. I wrote about this. I screamed from the bottom of my heart in Trickle-Down Tyranny. I wrote a whole chapter on it. And what we saw happening was astounding. I could not believe it. But today when I saw the Endeavour fly over on its last flight, going to a museum in Los Angeles, by the way, because the vermin in San Francisco wouldn't have it here, like they wouldn't have an aircraft carrier here, and that also had to go to Long Beach. they're too busy promoting their agenda of whatever it may be here in Nancy Pelosi's backyard. As you know, Nancy Pelosi's values include whipping people in public and screwing in public. That's Nancy Pelosi's values. Nevertheless, I could not believe what I saw. The man destroyed NASA. He put our astronauts on the back of the bus, meaning they have to fly at the back of the Russian shuttle. What does that tell you about this communist from Honolulu? How much do people have to understand? And where the heck is Romney? Will he stop being this patsy is what I keep screaming. I'm sure you feel the same way about Romney, don't you? He's gone already. That's all. It's Friday. Why should I care? Why should I care? Why don't I just go down with the ship like everybody else? Huh? You want to talk about any topic? It's open mic to Mike Friday. You want to talk about Endeavor's last flight, the Obama doctrine? You want to talk about any of the news out there? Why Romney is not making any headway? Why he has no traction? How many times can he go on liberal shows? How many times can he cater to illegal aliens and spit in the face of the audience that he needs in order to become president, which is the Savage Nation audience? I'll be right back.
Savage.
I'm just sitting here watching the wheels go round and round. I really love to watch them roll.
So today is an historic day, and to show you how far the media has fallen, I'm going to read you the headline from the San Jose Mercury News. Space Shuttle Endeavor provides once-in-a-lifetime moment above Bay Area skies. You read the article, and there's not one mention of the fact that Obama killed NASA, and the reason that it is being retired is because the president destroyed NASA, destroyed the shuttle program. Instead, the idiots in the news business, this one written by Julia Sulek and Erin Ivey, two fools who went to journalism school who came out not even understanding their job, their requirements as a journalist. All they talked about, people waving goodbye as Endeavor soared over the Bay Area. And what people said about it, about the retiring shuttle. Not one mention of the story that we have a communist president who destroyed NASA and put our astronauts on the back of a Russian bus. I wrote about it. A couple 100,000 people read it. Obama the Destroyer. The outset of this book I wrote, I describe Barack Obama as a destructive child who in his ignorance takes apart a watch and cannot put it back together. With regard to his reckless dismantling of our military, there's no quick solution to rebuild it. If and when this child president wakes up one morning and finds America under attack, it will be too late to start rebuilding what he has torn down. And I talked about the START Treaty on April 8th, 2010. How he destroyed our sovereignty by signing the START Treaty in Prague, Czechoslovakia, with Russian President Medvedev. But you don't want to hear about that. So let's speed up on the pages and go to NASA, where I wrote this. Tell me if you disagree. Tell me if I'm just a right-winger who doesn't really get it. Obama the space cadet. Houston, we have a problem. Here's what I wrote. We know Obama is taking apart America's military infrastructure, and yet this man who has created nothing in his life except absolute chaos, anger, divisiveness, and fear, as well as trillion-dollar deficits, designed to break the backs of the middle class, can't restrain himself from destroying the centerpiece of American technology and accomplishments, the NASA space program. On April 15, 2010, Obama, the space cadet, delivered a speech at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in which he announced his plans to scrap NASA's current space exploration program. He goes to the mecca of space travel and announces with a placid smile on his face that he's about to tear the program apart. Why would he destroy NASA? Don't we already have the best aeronautical program in the world? Well, I won't read you anymore. You can read it on your own. It's in Trickle-Down Tyranny. The other part of it's in Trickle-Up Poverty. It's good writing. It's clear writing. It's factual writing. It is writing based upon the facts, just the facts, ma'am. Remember Reverend Wright's sermon? Not God bless America. Reverend Wright roared into the young community activists' ears. Not God bless America. To put it another way, Obama clearly concurs with something his Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton has said, which is God bless the America we are trying to create. I did not make that up. Hillary Rodham Clinton, another Alinsky student, Alinsky the communist teacher, She was a student of Alinsky. She wrote this: God bless the America we are trying to create. And many Democrats don't even understand this. It is beyond belief what is going on in front of my eyes, and the level of ignorance has never been greater. With all the college degrees, the ignorance level is higher than ever. When America consisted mainly of people who graduated high school, the people were far smarter. With this educated group in America today, living in the suburbs and wherever they live, they seem to have come out incapable of independent thinking. So I'm, in a way, sort of the last of the Mohegans. I know that. In many ways, I sound it, too. Maybe I sound like the last of the Mohegans. Shall I shut the lights out when I leave America? Will the last one leaving America please turn the lights off? Is that what you want me to say? It's not a joke. If this man gets reelected, and it's highly likely he will because of the incompetence, the weakness of the Romney campaign, if this man gets reelected, you may as well turn the lights off and leave the country. There will be nothing left after this man's next tour of duty. I can guarantee it. 1-800-449-8255. Care to talk about it? This is the place to do it. This is the Savage Nation. We're talking about the shuttle. We're talking about the funeral today for our space program. We're talking about Michael Savage's brilliant description of Obama, the Obama doctrine, which says, hands off the communist world, hands off the Islamist world, or live and let die. Do you disagree with anything I've said? If you do, I'm willing to discuss it with you. The phone number is 1-800-449-8255, or visit me at michaelsavage.com. I'll be right back.
Savage.